The original heists versus the Doomsday Heist. Which one was better? Which one was more fun? That's what I want to have a little discussion about in this video. Now, every now and then I do like to have these GTA discussions where we talk about just random stuff in GTA. And today, we're going to be talking about heists. Now, at the end of the video, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But today, we're going to be going over the OG heists, comparing them kind of against the Doomsday Heists. I'll be going over some pros and cons for both, and then sort of giving my opinion, I guess, on which was better and more fun. Before we hop in, I'm doing a shark card giveaway over on my Twitter, so if you guys want a chance to win $3.5 million, then go enter to win that in the description below. Now, starting with the original heist, because they came first, the pros I have, the two big ones that give the edge to the original heists are, they were more realistic and they were much easier. Now, they go hand in hand because, as we all know in the Doomsday Heists, it gets a little crazy. We're basically saving the world. That's not really realistic. And the enemies, the NPCs that are in the Doomsday Heists, they aren't realistic either. I think they're robots or something. So it's a little crazy compared to the originals. The originals were breaking people out of prison or breaking into banks. You know, the craziest thing we did was break on to an aircraft carrier and steal a jet. So they were much more realistic. And I think a lot of people like that because that's what GTA was. I know in the past, in previous GTA games, there were some crazy vehicles, but not as many as there are now in GTA Online. So them being more realistic and easier, I think a lot of people really like that about them. Another thing, they offered way more roles to play for each heist. Now, granted, some of the roles were boring, but because you needed 4 people, there were a lot of things that Rockstar could have each person do. Another really big pro was that the original heist, at least with the Pacific Standard, that was one of the best, if not the best way to make money forever. Maybe even still today. I don't know how much you can make with the Doomsday Heists, but by completing the Pacific Standard, I believe it came out to like $400,000 or $500,000 per hour, which is amazing for GTA Online. So it being a great way to make money is another pro. And then the final one, the missions, most of them were fun. The Series A heist, I know a lot of people seem to not like that one, but I really enjoyed it because having Trevor pop up, I thought that was awesome. The Humane Labs raid may be the best heist from the original ones because you're just doing some awesome stuff. And all the new vehicles that were in that heist were amazing. The Hydra, you had the new that helicopter, I can't think of the name of it. You breaking into the Humane Labs was amazing. So I really enjoyed that heist. And then obviously the Pacific Standard finale. I remember like the first time we broke out of the bank and we were trying to get to the bikes to take off. That was just so exhilarating. Shooting all the cops, trying to survive, trying not to get shot because you had the money, you didn't want to lose the money. Like, all of that was amazing. So a lot of these missions were really fun. Now, some of the cons on the flip side of that topic, the Fleeca mission and the prison break one, I didn't really find that interesting. And especially with the prison break one, the stupid NPC copters that fell on you when they were destroyed. Oh my God. That caused so much rage back in the day. And that's why I hate this freaking mission. But the Fleeca one, I wouldn't even know if I would call that a heist. It's almost just like a tutorial. And it's not really that good. So there were some boring ones in the originals. Another huge con, you needed 4 people. And for a lot of people, you couldn't ever find 4 people that were good and competent, that could listen, that wouldn't die. And that's why a lot of us never played the heist as much as we wanted to. So the fact that you needed 4 people is a huge, huge con. And then by doing these Rockstar logics, the logic in some of the heists weren't really there. I mean, with the finale, for example, or the Pacific Standard, the bikes that we stole to get away, they, if we would have sold them, actually would have made us more money than stealing from the bank. So there's just some logic with all of the heists that, I don't know, it's easy to get over because it's a game, but it's like, really, we could have had more money. And then the final con, and this I guess more has to do with us, the community, but they are almost too easy. And I know I said they're much easier as a pro, but there are so many ways to get around, like dealing with the cops and all that it almost makes them boring. So that's my list for the original heist. I'm talking about the Doomsday Heists. They are much more intense. And I mean much, much more intense than the originals, man. You're doing some crazy stuff, flying deluxos, jetpacks, got a tank that you're blowing everything up in. It's crazy. And because of that, it is way more fun. But that's also somewhat of a negative, and I'll get to that in a second. In addition to that, you almost get a little bit more invested. At least as the host, you get invested in these missions because of all the prep you're doing in free roam. Like you yourself are actually going out to get an ambulance, or you're going out to steal, I don't know, a car or something, right? And I really do like that. I like that you do the prep in free roam, then you do the setup mission in, the mission, and then you do the finale in the mission as well. So it's a really good way to balance it all. But that is also a negative, which I'll get into in a second. The missions in the Doomsday Heist were more varied. The missions were much, like I said, much more fun in terms of playing them out. And I think that had to do with just the craziness, like the crazy situation we were in. I think Rockstar could do some stuff that they couldn't do in the original Heist. So I really liked the missions. The new toys, all the vehicles, way more fun. Now, as far as realism goes, I know some people aren't going to like them, but a jetpack, the stealth helicopter, the flying deluxo, I mean, the list goes on. They are way better, those vehicles, than the ones we got in the original Heist. The best ones we got in the original Heist was probably just the Hydra. I mean, that's the only one I use. Maybe the Savage, wasn't that in that? Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know, but either way, the new vehicles from the Doomsday are much better. And then one of the biggest pros, it didn't require a full 4-man team. You could do this with just one other person, and that's huge. I've played more of the Doomsday Heist missions than the original Heist ones because of that, because I only need one other person, one other friend to play these missions. And when it comes to the roles, despite, like I said earlier, that there may be less, each role is fun. You never really have that feeling like, oh, I got stuck with this role, because each role has a good objective and an engaging objective. You're not doing some, afterthought. You're actively in the heist and in the mission. So those are some of the pros. Now, the two main cons, and this goes back to what I was talking about, despite them being more fun, despite them being more intense, the reason they are is because the enemies are overpowered. And not just in a small way. The enemy's health is insane. In Act 3, at least. I know some of the earlier missions, it's fairly easy to get done, but in Act 3, in the finale, the NPCs are so hard. They have an aimbot that basically kills you instantly. They don't go down on the first couple of shots. It takes multiple shots, and that makes for such a frustrating experience. Now, I guess on the flip side, once you complete them, it makes for a rewarding experience, but it's just so frustrating to know that you really don't have much chance against these NPCs when you're going about running around. And the fact that in the finale mission, they just constantly keep spawning and they don't ever stop, it's a little too hectic. It's a little too intense. And then the other con, despite me liking the preps in free roam, the fact that you have to do them in free roam in a public lobby I don't like that. If we could do them in an invite-only session, sure, I'm fine with that. But in a public lobby, you have to deal with all these other people, all these griefers. It's kind of a shitty way to go about doing the prep missions. Now, with all that being said, answering the question, which was better and more fun? For me, I had a lot more fun with the Doomsday Heists. However, I also had a lot more frustration with the Doomsday Heists. So it's one of those questions that I don't know if, really any of us can truly answer. I mean, if Rockstar just made the NPCs more realistic in the Doomsday Heist, then it would be perfect. But the fact that they're way overpowered and way too good at aiming just makes the experience very, very frustrating. And you didn't have that in the original Heist. The original Heists were more grounded. They were more realistic. You were battling other humans, not other robots. What I'll say to end the video, I hope if they ever do add more heists to the game, they take a combination of both. Like, give us some intense stuff, right? But keep it realistic. Let's go back to breaking into banks to steal money or something along those lines. Like saving the world, it was kind of fun, but I think I've had my fair share of all the craziness that comes along with that. So let me know in the comment section if you had to choose between one, or just like give a pro and con list between the OG Heists and the Doomsday Heists. Which one would you choose, or what would you say about them? I just thought this was kind of an interesting topic to talk about since the Doomsday Heists have been out for basically a month now, and hopefully the honeymoon period has worn off for a lot of people. So yeah, that is it with the video. Thank you all for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more awesome GTA content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.